And we've been talking all week about a festival happening digitally in the county, which is specifically for young people from West Norfolk. It's run by the YMCA and it's called the Youth West Summer Festival. It's made up of virtual circus tents, and there are loads of brilliant workshops that will be happening within those on the online spaces, covering a huge range of topics and issues. So you've got yoga, gaming, creativity, LGBTQ+, Black Lives Matter, drugs, alcohol, and loads more as well. And one of the workshops is run by the Unity service at the Matthew Project, and Ellie Coulson, who runs Unity, joins me on the line now to tell me more about it. Hi, Ellie.
Hi, Sophie. How are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for joining us tonight.
No problem.
The festival sounds brilliant, doesn't it? Can you tell me a little bit about what you do, though, at Unity?
Yeah, sure. So Unity is the commissioned drug and alcohol service for young people across the whole of Norfolk. So we cover the whole county. We've got kind of offices in Norwich, Kings Lynn, Great Yarmouth. And we do two different types of work, really. We do work with young people who are using substances, and then we do work supporting young people who've been affected by someone else's substance misuse. So we support young people kind of over a wide age range. Our youngest young people are probably around the age of 5, and we go up to the age of 19. So we work in a kind of outreach model. So we go out to meet young people out in the community where they feel comfortable, and support them with the issues that they're facing.
That must be very challenging. Can I ask how you got into that line of work? Is it something that you've always wanted to do?
I've had a bit of an interesting career. I moved to Norwich to study at UEA, but I didn't study in kind of a related discipline. But I kind of ended up doing. I worked as a practitioner initially for the Matthew Project, so supporting young people. But I kind of came that way via doing careers advice and guidance, and then wellbeing work. I worked at Norwich City College for quite a long time, so I kind of made my way into the wellbeing world via kind of customer service and self-employment, but basically landed in this world because during my time doing wellbeing work, I just, I love working with young people, trying to help make a difference in their lives, and trying to kind of help them to have kind of a more positive future. So, yeah, I've had a bit of an unconventional route, I guess, into this career, but it's one I absolutely love.
It sounds like it must be a very rewarding job to know that you've gone and done for the day when you come home at night as well. But what are the challenges of the work that you guys do?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's some kind of very Norfolk-specific challenges, and then there's challenges I think you'd see across the UK. In terms of Norfolk itself, I think, most people would acknowledge that it's quite a rural county. There can be poor transport links. There can be poor opportunities in terms of education and employment. It can be difficult for people to find kind of positive activities to engage in. So that can kind of leave the door open for young people getting involved in riskier behaviours because they're either bored or they feel isolated. So that's kind of quite a Norfolk-specific challenge. I think in general, the challenges that we face are that it's really hard being a young person today, growing up in an era where social media is such a huge part of your life, that can have a massively detrimental effect on your mental health. I think young people struggle with kind of self-image, self-esteem a lot more than maybe they did in the past. Constantly bombarded with images. We have got some other challenges in Norfolk, so there have been some challenges around the kind of mental health world in Norfolk. A lot of the young people who come into our service will have mental health issues alongside their issues around substances. And then I guess the kind of other challenges are the challenges that people will be seeing across the country with kind of cuts to funding of services. There's less money, there's not less demand. So it is challenging work, but we've got like a team of really, really passionate, dedicated, really experienced workers who will always step up and kind of go that extra mile for that young person. And the way that we work is that we don't just look at that individual's kind of substance misuse. What we look at is kind of a whole holistic approach at all the areas in their lives, because we kind of understand that all of those factors can feed into why they use substances. So we try and address all of that. We look at the whole person, not just the one thing that is causing them difficulties.
So interesting to hear about it, and how you guys are kind of out there doing that with this festival. Is this something that you do involve yourselves in regularly? These kind of festivals, this sort of outreach?
Yeah, I mean, we do lots and lots of outreach. We work in an outreach way, but we try and do a lot of joined up working with other agencies in Norfolk. We do lots of work with YMCA, particularly because they have accommodation settings for young people, so a lot of young people there have benefited from support from our service. But we just think it's really great practice, when you're looking at a young person's whole life, to get yourself out there, work with other agencies, make sure that you're collaborating, because that means that you can give that young person the best possible package of care that's kind of tailored to their needs. So yeah, multi-agency working and kind of linking up with other organisations and kind of getting information out there. Yeah, that's very much like part of our day-to-day bread and butter work.
So I mentioned with this festival there's going to be these kind of virtual circus tents and a big old lineup of brilliant workshops that people can access for free, I should add as well. So what are you guys going to be offering, and how are you going to present it online? Is that a challenge?
Well, it's been interesting, the online environment, over the whole kind of COVID situation. So we have, as a service, kind of got to grips with how we can engage with people using things like Microsoft Teams and Zoom and all that side of things. So I am going to be doing an online kind of webinar. Really, I'm going to do a kind of a bit of a presentation, and then open it up so that young people can ask questions. We can have a bit of a chat. What I'm going to focus on really is going to be kind of thinking about how young people can keep themselves safe through the rest of the summer holidays and beyond. And I'm going to be focusing really on kind of the main substances that young people are likely to use and encounter, and those three main substances really are cannabis, alcohol, and the third one that I've added into that mix is nitrous oxide. We've seen an increased use of that nationally, and I think there needs to be more done to kind of educate young people about the dangers and how to keep themselves safe. So the message is really about education, that knowledge is power thing. We know that young people are going to experiment, and just saying drugs are bad isn't the way to make young people feel empowered in their choices. Give them the information, let them know what different substances do to their bodies, what the risks are, how, if they are going to use it, they're going to keep themselves safe, what to do to look out for friends if they're concerned. Give them that knowledge, and that gives young people the power and the ability to make their own choices, but hopefully to do it in a way that keeps them safe.
Do you find, what's the reception when you present that kind of information to young people? Do you find that they know a lot of it already? Are some facts about the safety implications of using those drugs surprising to them? What kind of reception do you usually get?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that there are a lot of kind of drugs myths out there, and I think, young people are more and more well informed. But we certainly, whenever we deliver sessions, you get young people, coming back and saying that they didn't know this about this substance, and, now they understand it better, they know the risks. So I definitely think that kind of myth-busting and the kind of presenting of facts is helpful. Young people have access to more and more information on the internet, but what the internet's like, it's not always verified information. So getting that accurate information to young people, I do think they find it useful, and the feedback that we get from the sessions that we do is always really positive.
Well, I wish you all the best with your wonderful kind of presentation and webinar in your virtual circus tent for the Youth West Summer Fest. Thank you so much for talking to me tonight, Ellie. Can you just signpost as well where people can go if they want to find out more about Unity?
Yep, so if you want to find out more about Unity, you can go to the Matthew Project website, which is www.matthewproject.org. There's a separate page on that website for Unity, and if anyone has any concerns about young people, we run a helpline Monday to Friday for the Unity service, which is a free phone number, and you can find that number online as well.
Thank you so much, Ellie Coulson. It's brilliant having you on the show tonight, and good luck with the festival.